July 2002, over Germany, the middle of the night. But the pilots can't believe what they see heading towards them.
Get on the left!
Increase climb.
Climb, he said!
The city of Ufa in western Russia. This year, its most outstanding teenagers have been chosen to go on a 2-week vacation organized by UNESCO near Barcelona in Spain. On July the 1st, 2002, the children from Ufa board their plane at a Moscow airport. The Kaloyevs are not part of the school group. They're going on a holiday to meet their father, who's an architect, and is finishing a project near Barcelona. No fewer than 5 Russians are flying this plane. Just before 11 that evening, Bashkirian Airlines Flight 2937 leaves Moscow. The plane is a Tupolev 154. Like most modern aircraft, it carries collision avoidance equipment called TCAS, or Traffic Collision Avoidance System. TCAS listens in and calculates whether any of the planes is on a collision course. If they are, it will tell the pilot what action to take to avoid collision.
Descend. Clear of conflict.
Hundreds of miles away in Bergamo, Italy, a Boeing 757 is getting underway. It's flying for DHL, the international freight company, and is heading for their European base at Brussels in Belgium. The Russian Tupolev will cross its path over southern Germany. The Boeing has only 2 people aboard, Captain Paul Phillips, who's British, and First Officer Brant Campioni, who's Canadian, and due to fly the next leg of the journey. The DHL takes off at 6 minutes past 11, on what will be its last journey. Ten to 8 at the Skyguide Area Control Center in Zurich, Switzerland. Peter Nielsen is an experienced controller. He's been doing this job for 8 years. Nielsen's colleague decides to take a lengthy break. Peter Nielsen is now responsible for all air traffic on 2 radar screens, which sit several feet apart. The Russian plane, filled with schoolchildren, is now over central Germany and flying towards Switzerland.
128.05, Bravo Tango Charlie 2937. Goodbye.
The German controller hands over the Russian plane to Skyguide, where Peter Nielsen is at the helm. Meanwhile, the DHL plane is climbing north over the Alps and is now entering Swiss airspace.
Zurich, radar, good evening. Dilmun 611, I'm climbing flight level 260, direct Odessy.
Dilmun 611, climb flight level 360.
The DHL reaches flight level 360, or 36,000 feet, the same altitude as the Russian plane. Now the assistant gives Peter Nielsen a new flight strip. An Airbus Aero Lloyd Flight 1135 is flying to the airport of Friedrichshafen nearby. The Aero Lloyd pilot is trying to make contact with Peter. But the Russian pilot is also calling him on the other screen.
Aero Lloyd 1135, roger. Call you back. Station calling.
Say again, please.
Zurich, good evening. Bravo Tango Charlie 2937.
Bravo Tango Charlie 2937.
The Aero Lloyd is calling again. Now another plane needs him. A Thai Airways flight heading north.
Thai into 933. Contact now on Munich 132.140. Goodbye.
Peter wants to get this Aero Lloyd flight off his hands. Meanwhile, the Russian airliner and the DHL plane are still heading towards each other at a closing speed of over 800 miles per hour. Neither crew is aware that they're only 2.5 minutes apart.
Look at that.
Now, for the first time, the Russian pilots can see the DHL plane on the screen of their TCAS anti-collision computer. Peter Nielsen is still focused on getting the Aero Lloyd flight safely down. On the DHL cargo plane, the crew is relaxed. They don't know they're on a collision course. Their TCAS hasn't sounded a warning yet. On the Russian plane, the pilots are getting concerned. The other plane is getting closer and closer.
Traffic. Traffic.
Now fucking traffic.
Why?
Traffic.
At the same moment, the TCAS in the DHL cockpit detects the Russian plane.
Descend. Descend.
Peter Nielsen finally realizes what's happening.
Bravo Tango Charlie 2937, descend flight level 350.
Expedite. I have crossing traffic.
Descend.
Captain Gross disengages the autopilot and starts to descend.
Climb. Climb.
TCAS is telling them to climb. The controller is telling them to descend.
Expedite descent level 350.
Peter Nielsen thinks he's averted a collision by telling the Russian plane to descend. But what he doesn't know is that the DHL pilots have received a TCAS instruction telling them to descend.
Increase!
If both planes obeyed TCAS, there'd be no problem. But the Russians, instead of climbing, have followed the controller's orders.
Fuck, what is it?
Here on the left.
Increase climb. Increase climb.
Climb, it says.
Climb! Descend! Fuck, descend hard! Climb!
The tail of the DHL clips the belly of the Tupolev, tearing it apart. The pilots soon lose consciousness. The DHL struggles on for another 2 minutes. It will crash 4 miles away.
Can we go over to Friedrichshafen?
Affirm. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Peter is unaware of what just happened.
Bravo Tango Charlie 2937. Bravo Tango Charlie 2937. Bravo Tango Charlie.
This is the nightmare that every controller hopes will not happen to him. 2 of his aircraft colliding, killing scores of people.
Oh!
Peter Nielsen leaves the control room for the last time. Wreckage is scattered over 130 square miles. It's the worst mid-air collision in German post-war history. Vitaly Khaloyev, the Russian architect, was awaiting his family in Barcelona. He's one of the first to arrive in Überlingen. Although the relatives are not encouraged to participate in the search, Vitaly cannot help himself. Vitaly finds a broken pearl necklace. He recognizes it as his 4-year-old daughter's. Amazingly, amidst all the carnage, Vitaly finds his daughter's body intact.
She did not suffer at all.
The mutilated bodies of his wife and son won't be found until later. Vitaly Khaloyev, the Russian architect, has lost his entire family, everything. He's become obsessed with finding out who is responsible for the collision. Khaloyev decides to travel to Zurich to play out the last tragic chapter in the Überlingen story. On February the 24th, 2004, a stranger calls at the house of the controller, Peter Nielsen. The Germans built a memorial on the site of the tragedy. It's made up of a series of giant silver pearls on a broken necklace.